system that's not being treated with respect.
Joining me now are Christina Greer, Associate Professor of Political Science at Fordham University, and Robert Trainum, MSNBC analyst. Good to see both of you. Christina, let me just start with you out of this. The president has said that you know, when talking about John McCain, that he prefers you know, heroes that aren't captured, prefers people that aren't captured, and now he's going after sports players who are trying to use their platform to raise awareness to certain issues within our country in a peaceful manner, without calling people out. What do you say to how the president has kind of poked a stick in a beehive where he really doesn't have a lot of business being?
Well, I mean, we know that this president refuses to prioritize and actually focus on what's happening in areas of the American public that he should really be concentrating on. I mean, keep in mind, right now we have 3.5 million American citizens in the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico who don't have electricity. We haven't heard anything from Donald Trump in the past 4 days about that at all. So here he is now where he can't not talk about things. You know, he's still sore about not being able to take over the Buffalo Bills in 2014, and he lost, and it was an embarrassing move for him. We know that he is a white supremacist, and I think that that is evidenced by several things that he has done in the past 50 years and what he's definitely done in the past 8 months. And so he sees the NFL with black players and white owners, and he doesn't understand why his friends, these owners, aren't taking charge and making sure that these boys or SOBs aren't put in line. And, you know, to be really honest, it's really frustrating that the media and so many people who are discussing this issue keep saying it's about the flag. Donald Trump is making it about the flag. It is absolutely not about the flag. Colin Kaepernick and so many other members of the NFL, the WNBA, and all these other sports teams have knelt to protest anti-black racism and police brutality. It is not about the flag or the national anthem. It is during that moment of quiet reflection as citizens. And if the president had read the Constitution, which we are almost guaranteed that he has not, he would know that the First Amendment right gives the NFL players the very right to do this. This is why people go to war, to fight for our freedoms. So he's trying to make it about military personnel. Military personnel are men and women, people of color, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, whites. It's not just white men who have served in our military. So when he's trying to sort of set up this racialized dichotomy of good versus bad, kneelers versus, you know, the military personnel who have served our country, it's a false narrative, it's a lie, and it needs to be called out.
Well, and when we think about, you know, the percentage of minority members of sports teams to the, you know, Caucasian ratio, it's about 80% to 20% of minority athletes that make up these teams. And we think about the power that these pro athletes have in terms of unifying their voice. We've seen that power today, Robert, and the fact that a lot of people were not sticking up for Colin Kaepernick, and we know that the owners decided that he was unemployable because of the fact that he did want to protest. Do you think that this situation of drawing attention to Colin Kaepernick and his cause is really going to work in the favor of people having a better conversation where it needs to be on racial injustice and police brutality, things that have kind of fallen by the wayside?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, a lot of this has fallen from the wayside. But can I just back up for a second? I mean, the president, he's very unpredictable, but he's also very predictable. This is about the president going to Alabama and obviously speaking to his base and the fire here on so many different levels. And here's why we know he does this. He does that when he knows he's going to lose on a particular topic. And we know 48 hours from now, we think he's probably going to lose on a health care vote. What the president does very well and very predictable is going to his base and stoking that base. And to your point, Thomas, this is probably group number 20 that he's offended, whether it's John McCain, whether it's Lindsey Graham, whether it's Gold Star families. It doesn't matter. What the president is doing is very predictable, and he's kind of like crazy like a fox. And this is not really, I mean, it is about race in many ways, because I think he's clearly trying to stoke the flames here a little bit, but I think he's extremely manipulative, and I think he knows exactly what he's doing by doing these tweets the way he's doing them and sitting obviously on the tarmac of Air Force One.
All right, thank you all very much. And yes, crazy like a fox for sure. Also in 48 hours, the Alabama special election. Well, they're going to know, you know, he's betting on Luther Strange, and most people think Judge Roy Moore is going to take it. Christina Greer, great to have you here. Robert Trainum, thank you very much.